Scotland had no government for most of its history. It had something older, something more personal, something that demanded your loyalty not to a distant king or a bureaucracy, but to a name, a family, a chief who knew your face and whose land you worked and whose wars you fought. They called it the clan system, and here's what most people don't know. The clan system didn't just survive, it's still technically active. The Court of Lord Lyon in Edinburgh still officially recognizes Scottish clan chiefs today. If your surname is on this list, I'm going to tell you exactly which tribe you come from, what they believed, where they lived, what they fought for, and what they did that no history book covers in enough detail. Before we begin, I need to explain something important, because the relationship between a surname and a clan is more complex than most people realize. A clan comprised all living on the chief's lands or on territory of those pledging allegiance. Clansmen might take the chief's name in solidarity, particularly when surnames came into common use after the 16th century. Many surnames are Septs, affiliated families who took a clan name for protection or loyalty, not necessarily blood. It's also a serious error to see clans only in terms of vertical power structures, top to bottom from the chief. Those relationships were vastly outnumbered by the almost infinite cross-connections between clan members, friendships, intermarriage, local trade, and mutual support. This is what clans were really about. So when I say this is the tribe you come from, I mean this is the community your ancestors belonged to, the territory they lived on, the chief they pledged to, and the battles they fought in, whether or not they shared the chief's blood. Clanscape's database searches over 2,500 Scottish surnames connected to 342 documented clans. If your name doesn't appear today, that is your next step. 20 clans, their surnames, their stories. Let's begin. Number 20, Clan Sinclair. Surnames Sinclair and Sinclair. The Sinclairs came from St. Clair sur Epte in Normandy, arriving in Scotland in the 12th century. They became Earls of Caithness in the far north, building Gurnago Castle on the Caithness Cliffs, one of the most dramatic castle ruins in Scotland. But their most famous legacy is Rosslyn Chapel, built between 1446 and 1484 by William Sinclair, 1st Earl of Orkney. One of the most elaborately carved stone buildings in Scotland, filled with symbols that have generated centuries of speculation about Knights Templar and Freemasonry. The Sinclairs were hereditary Grand Masters of Masonry in Scotland for centuries, a title that predates modern Freemasonry and connects to medieval stonemason guilds. Dan Brown made Rosslyn famous in the Da Vinci Code. Historians continue to debate what exactly its carvings mean. If your name is Sinclair, your tribe built the most enigmatic chapel in Scotland. Number 19, Clan Grant. Surnames Grant. The Grants established themselves in Strathspey, the valley of the River Spey in Inverness-shire from the 13th century. Castle Grant near Grantown-on-Spey was their principal seat. Sir James Grant founded the town of Grantown-on-Spey in 1765, one of the earliest planned towns in the Scottish Highlands, a deliberate act of economic development in a region that most landlords simply exploited. The River Spey gave its name to Speyside, one of Scotland's most celebrated whiskey regions. William Grant, a direct descendant of the clan, founded William Grant and Sons in 1887, starting with a single distillery. The company that produces Glenfiddich and Balvenie, two of the world's most recognizable single malt Scotch whiskies, is still family-owned today. If your name is Grant, your tribe's valley gave the world some of its finest whiskey. Number 18, Clan Kerr. Surnames Kerr, Carr, Kerr. The Kerrs were powerful border lords of Teviotdale, centered around Jedburgh, with their principal seats at Ferniehirst Castle and Cessford Castle. The name itself derives from Old Norse Kerr, meaning dweller in the marshland, showing Norse influence even in the lowland borders. The legend, the Kerrs were said to be disproportionately left-handed, and the spiral staircase at Ferniehirst Castle was built counter-clockwise, the opposite of every other castle in Scotland. Specifically so left-handed, Kerr swordsmen could fight more effectively on the stairs. In a standard clockwise staircase, a right-handed defender has the advantage. The counterclockwise staircase reverses that advantage completely. Whether every Kerr was genuinely left-handed is debated by historians. What is documented, Ferniehirst Castle does have a counterclockwise staircase. The Scots word corry-fisted, meaning left-handed, was sometimes said to derive from Kerr-fisted. If your name is Kerr, your tribe may have built a castle specifically for left-handed warriors. Number 17, Clan MacPherson. Surnames include MacPherson, Gillies, MacLeish, and Clark and Badenoch. MacPherson means son of the parson. Your founding ancestor was a clergyman. The MacPhersons held territory in Badenoch in the Cairngorms, part of the great Clan Chattan Confederation, a grouping of multiple clans under a single leadership. Their most dramatic story, James MacPherson, a famous fiddle player and freebooter, was condemned to hang at Banff in 1700. He played his fiddle on the scaffold and then smashed it rather than let it fall into his enemy's hands. A reprieve was reportedly on its way from the magistrates, but the town clock was deliberately set forward to ensure the execution was completed before the pardon arrived. The fiddle, or fragment of it, is still kept at the Clan MacPherson Museum in Newton Moor. Robert Burns was so moved by the story that he wrote MacPherson's rant about him, still performed today. If your name is MacPherson, your tribe's most famous outlaw played his fiddle on the gallows. Number 16, Clan Hamilton. Surnames, Hamilton. The Hamiltons were the great Lowland dynasty of Lanarkshire, and at two separate moments in Scottish history, they came within a single death of becoming the royal family of Scotland. As the nearest Protestant relatives to both Mary Queen of Scots and her son James VI, the Hamiltons were repeatedly next in line for the Scottish throne. Their motto was "through," a single word that captured their consistent political strategy of patience and persistence. Hamilton Palace, their principal seat, was at its peak one of the largest private houses in Britain, with a facade over 300 feet long and a collection of art that rivaled European royal collections. It was demolished in 1921 due to coal mining subsidence undermining its foundations, one of the greatest architectural losses of the 20th century in Scotland. The art sale that followed is still considered one of the greatest dispersals of a private collection in British history. If your name is Hamilton, your tribe came closer to the Scottish crown than almost any family that never wore it. Number 15, Clan Mackintosh. Surnames, Mackintosh, Mackintosh, Shaw, Noble. Mackintosh means son of the chief. The Mackintoshes led the Clan Chattan Confederation, a grouping of multiple clans under a single leadership, including the MacPhersons, MacBeans, MacGillivrays, and others. In February 1746, Colonel Anne Mackintosh raised the clan for Prince Charles Edward Stuart while her husband served as an officer on the Hanoverian side. When Prince Charles stayed at Moy Hall, a government force of 1,500 troops was sent to capture him. The local blacksmith, with 4 companions, ambushed them in the dark, making enough noise to suggest a large army. The government troops fled, 5 men against 1,500. The rout of Moy. If your name is Mackintosh, Shaw, or Noble, your tribe was led by a woman who raised an army while her husband fought for the other side. Number 14, Clan MacRae. Surnames, MacRae, Ray, MacRae. MacRae means son of grace. The MacRaes held territory in Kintail, the dramatic valley in the northwestern Highlands that contains the 5 sisters of Kintail mountain range, and served as hereditary constables of Island Donan Castle under the Mackenzies. Island Donan, built on a small island where 3 sea locks meet, is one of the most photographed buildings in Scotland. When it was destroyed during the Jacobite Rising of 1719, it lay in ruins for nearly 2 centuries. It was the MacRae family who largely funded and organized its reconstruction between 1912 and 1932. The castle that tourists photograph today was rebuilt by a MacRae. The MacRaes were known throughout the Highlands as Mackenzie's coat of mail, so reliably did they stand between their chiefs and their enemies. If your name is MacRae, your tribe rebuilt one of Scotland's most iconic castles. Number 13, Clan Farquharson. Surnames, Farquharson, Finlay, Hardy, Grassic. Farquharson means son of the dear one. Their territory in Braemar and the Upper Dee Valley is the very area Queen Victoria later made famous through Balmoral Castle, Royal Decide. When Queen Victoria first visited in 1848, she fell in love with the landscape, and the royal family has returned every summer since. The Farquharson chief's seat, Invercald House near Braemar, still stands today and is still inhabited. The Farquharsons raised their clan for the Jacobite risings multiple times, and Colonel Anne, the same woman who organized the rout of Moy for the Mackintosh clan, was born a Farquharson of Invercald. She combined 2 of the most spirited Jacobite Highland clans in one person. If your name is Farquharson, Finlay, or Hardy, your tribe's valley became the royal family's summer retreat. Number 12, Clan Gordon. Surnames, Gordon. The Gordons dominated northeastern Scotland for 5 centuries. Their seat at Huntly Castle in Aberdeenshire, where the Deveron and Bogie rivers meet, remains one of the finest Renaissance palace castles in Scotland, with carved heraldic panels that are among the most sophisticated stone carvings in the country. Their nickname was the Cock of the North, a reference to the golden cockerel on their heraldic crest. The Gordon Highlanders Regiment was founded in 1794 by the 4th Duke of Gordon, and the Duchess of Gordon reportedly offered a kiss to every man who enlisted, which filled the regiment faster than any other. They served in the Napoleonic Wars, the Indian Mutiny, the Boer War, and both World Wars. The regiment was amalgamated into the Royal Regiment of Scotland in 2006, but the Gordon Highlanders Museum in Aberdeen preserves their extraordinary history. If your name is Gordon, your tribe dominated the Northeast and produced one of the British Army's most decorated regiments. Number 11, Clan Campbell, surnames Campbell, MacArthur, Burns, McKellar. Campbell means crooked mouth, a nickname for a founding ancestor that became a dynasty. The Campbells controlled vast territories across Argyll. Their chiefs, the Dukes of Argyll, remain one of Scotland's most powerful noble families. Inverary Castle is still the home of the current Duke today. The Campbell name's controversial legacy stems from the massacre of Glencoe on 13 February 1692. Government soldiers, including men of the Campbell Regiment, killed 38 members of the MacDonald clan of Glencoe after accepting their hospitality for 12 days. The Campbells did not order it, but King William III's government did. Campbell soldiers carried it out. The event was called murder under trust, a specific legal category in Scottish law. If your name is Campbell, MacArthur, or Burns, your tribe was the most powerful in the Highlands and the most complex. Number 10, Clan Fraser. Surnames: Fraser, Simon, Bisset. Fraser derives from a French place name possibly connected to the word for strawberry. The clan has two Highland branches, Frasers of Lovat and Frasers of Philorth, and fought at almost every significant battle in Scottish history. Simon Fraser, 11th Lord Lovat, was the last person to be publicly beheaded in Britain, executed on Tower Hill on the 9th of April, 1747, at approximately 80 years of age. A grandstand of spectators collapsed, killing 9 people. Lovat reportedly laughed. His last words included a Latin quotation from Ovid's Metamorphoses. The Fraser River in British Columbia is named after Simon Fraser, the explorer, a clan descendant who surveyed it in 1808. If your name is Fraser, your tribe's last chief laughed on the scaffold. Number 9, Clan MacKay. Surnames: MacKay, Bain, Kyle. MacKay means son of Aod, with Aod meaning fire. The Mackays held Strathnaver in the far northwest, one of Scotland's most remote and dramatic territories, running from the mountains of Sutherland down to the northern coast, ending at the sea cliffs near Cape Wrath, the most northwestern point of mainland Britain. At their peak, they could raise 4,000 men from Strathnaver alone, a remarkable number for such a remote territory, reflecting the extraordinary loyalty the chiefs commanded. Strathnaver is also the site of some of the Sutherland clearance's most documented atrocities. Between 1814 and 1819, the Mackay settled townships of Strathnaver were systematically cleared, houses burned with families' belongings still inside, people driven to the coast to make way for sheep. Patrick Seller, the estate factor responsible, was tried for culpable homicide in 1816 but acquitted. The clearances of Strathnaver are among the most thoroughly documented episodes of the Highland clearances, and the landscape still shows the traces of the townships that were destroyed. If your name is MacKay or Bain, your tribe held the fire at the very top of Scotland. Number 8, Clan Cameron. Surnames: Cameron, McMartin, McSorley. Cameron means crooked nose. The Camerons of Lochaber are most famous for loyalty to causes that ultimately failed, fighting for the Stuarts at Killiecrankie in 1689, at Sheriff Muir in 1715, and most dramatically at Culloden in 1746. Donald Cameron of Lochiel, Gentle Lochiel, was persuaded to join Prince Charles Edward Stuart's rising in 1745 even though he had serious private doubts about its chances. His decision to commit the Camerons was crucial. Without Lochiel, there might have been no 45. After Culloden, Lochiel fled to France. Achnacarry Castle, the Cameron chief's seat on the banks of the River Archaig, was burned by government troops. Lochiel died in exile in France in 1748. 2 centuries later, Achnacarry became the Commando Basic Training Center. Over 25,000 Allied soldiers trained there between 1942 and 1945, the birthplace of modern Special Forces training. The castle burned after Culloden trained the men who won the last Great War. If your name is Cameron, your tribe fought for every lost cause, and their ruins became the birthplace of modern Special Forces. Number 7, Clan MacLean. Surnames include MacLean, MacLean, and Beaton. MacLean means son of the servant of St. John. Their seat, Dort Castle on Mull, commands the Sound of Mull and remains the home of the MacLean chief today. In 1523, Lachlan Moore MacLean had his wife Catherine Campbell tied to a rock in the sea at low tide, intending the rising tide to drown her. She was rescued by fishermen and returned to her father, the Earl of Argyll. Lachlan then traveled to Edinburgh and informed the Earl that his daughter had drowned. When the Earl revealed she was alive, the situation became considerably more fraught. Lachlan MacLean was assassinated in Edinburgh later that year. The rock, known as the Lady's Rock, is still visible in the Sound of Mull today. If your name is MacLean or Beaton, your tribe has a rock in the sea that tells a story. Number 6. Clan Murray. Surnames: Murray, Moray, Piper, Small. Murray means from MacRae, an ancient kingdom in northern Scotland that once had its own line of kings who contested the Scottish crown itself. The Murray clan produced Andrew Murray, co-commander with William Wallace at Stirling Bridge in September 1397, one of the most tactically remarkable victories in medieval Scottish history. Where the Scots used the bridge itself as the killing ground, Murray was mortally wounded in that battle and died shortly after. Their other great legacy, Blair Castle in Perthshire, is the only private castle in Britain still permitted to maintain a private army. The Atholl Highlanders, granted this extraordinary privilege by Queen Victoria in 1845. Approximately 80 men strong, they still parade at Blair Castle annually. They are the last private army in Europe. If your name is Murray, your tribe had its own kingdom and still has its own army. Number 5. Clan MacDonald. Surnames: MacDonald, MacDonald, McAllister, McRanald. MacDonald means son of the world ruler. At their peak, the Lords of the Isles controlled a maritime empire stretching from Argyll to the Outer Hebrides, functioning almost as a separate kingdom within Scotland, with its own council, its own laws, and its own diplomatic relations with Ireland and England. Their court at Finlaggan on Islay was an alternative royal court. The MacDonalds maintained hereditary historians, the Shanchaidian, who preserved the clan's genealogy as an instrument of political authority. At their peak, the MacDonalds could put more fighting men in the field than the King of Scots. The lordship of the Isles was forfeited to the Scottish crown in 1493 by James IV, but the name survived and is today one of the most common surnames of Scottish origin worldwide. The 38 people killed at Glencoe in 1692 were MacDonalds. If your name is MacDonald or McAllister, your tribe ruled an island empire for 3 centuries. Number 4. Clan Robertson. Surnames: Robertson, Duncan, Donaghey, Reed, and Athol. Robertson, formerly Clan Donacade, meaning children of Duncan, is often cited as Scotland's oldest documented clan, with roots traced to the royal house of Athol. The documented history begins at Bannockburn in 1314, where stout Duncan led the clan into battle. The crystal charmstone called the Cloch na Bradach, said to have been lifted from the ground on the march to Bannockburn, is still kept by the Robertson chiefs today. It is one of the oldest physical relics of Scottish clan history. The surname itself came in 1451. Robert Reebach personally hunted down and captured the murderers of King James I of Scotland in 1437, an act of loyalty to the crown that earned him the barony of Struan. The clan became Sons of Robert. Their museum near Braemar holds one of the most remarkable collections of clan relics in Scotland. If your name is Robertson or Duncan, your tribe's roots go back to Bannockburn, and the stone they carried there is still in the family. Number 3. Clan MacLeod. Surnames are MacLeod, MacLeod, Lewis, and Norman. MacLeod means son of the ugly one, with Leod being the Gaelic form of the Old Norse name Leotar. The MacLeods descend directly from Leod, son of Olaf the Black, Norse king of Man and the Isles, making the clan direct descendants of the Norse rulers of the Hebrides. Dunvegan Castle on Skye has been the MacLeod chief's home for over 800 years, the longest continuously inhabited castle in Scotland. Every MacLeod chief since the 13th century has lived there. Within Dunvegan is kept the fairy flag, Ambrodig Sith in Gaelic, a tattered piece of ancient silk, scientifically dated to between the 4th and 7th centuries AD. Tradition holds it was given by fairies and brings victory in battle when unfurled, but only 3 times. During the Second World War, MacLeod servicemen requested photographs of it to carry into battle. RAF pilots reportedly kept them in their cockpits. The silk has been scientifically analyzed and found to be of Middle Eastern or Near Eastern origin. How a piece of ancient silk from that part of the world ended up in a castle on the Isle of Skye is a mystery that no one has fully explained. If your name is MacLeod, your tribe has kept a piece of ancient silk for 800 years and no one knows where it came from. Number 2. Clan Douglas. Surnames: Douglas, Douglas, Morton. Douglas means dark water. The Black Douglas Earls became so powerful that Scottish regents regarded them as an existential threat. The good Sir James Douglas carried Robert the Bruce's heart toward the Holy Land after the king's death, dying in battle in Spain, reportedly hurling the silver casket into the fight before following it. In November 1440, the Black Dinner, the 16-year-old 6th Earl of Douglas and his brother were invited to Edinburgh Castle by the regents Crichton and Livingston. After dinner, they were seized, given a mock trial, and beheaded. In February 1452, King James II personally stabbed the 8th Earl to death at Stirling Castle. His companions threw the body from the window. The Douglas earldom was forfeited in 1455. If your name is Douglas, your tribe was powerful enough that a king had to stab your chief personally to stop you. Number 1. Clan MacGregor. Surnames: MacGregor, Gregor, Gregory, Fletcher, King, Gregor. MacGregor means son of Gregory. The clan claims descent from Greagor, said to be a son of the 9th century king Kenneth MacAlpin. Whether this genealogy is fully documentable is debated. What is not debated is what happened to the clan in the 17th century, following the Battle of Glenfruin on February 7, 1603, in which MacGregor forces killed approximately 200 members of the Colquhoun clan. King James VI issued a royal proclamation banning the name MacGregor. To bear the name was a capital offense. Members of the clan could be killed with impunity. The ban was renewed and extended over the following decades. It lasted with intervals until 1774, 171 years. During those 171 years, MacGregors took other surnames to survive. Murray, Graham, Campbell, Drummond, Fletcher, and King all became hiding places for MacGregors who needed a name that wouldn't get them killed. When the ban was finally lifted in 1774, many reclaimed MacGregor. Some did not, and this is why people today with surnames like Fletcher or King may have MacGregor blood running through them. Rob Roy MacGregor, born in 1671 and died in 1734, was an outlaw, a cattle trader, and a folk hero who lived under the ban. Walter Scott immortalized him in the novel Rob Roy in 1817. His grave at Balquhidder in Perthshire is still visited today, a tribe whose name was a death sentence, who kept it alive in secret for 171 years, and claimed it back when the law finally relented. If your name is MacGregor, Gregor, or Gregory, or if your name is Fletcher or King and you have Scottish roots, your tribe refused to disappear. Even when disappearing was the law, that is what it means to be MacGregor. 20 clans, 20 tribes, still here. The clan system was supposed to have ended at Culloden in 1746. The disarming acts banned the tartan, the clearances emptied the land, the immigration ships took the people. But the names survived, and through the names, the clan survived. Not as military forces, but as communities of identity, of shared history, of the knowledge that your name connects you to a specific landscape, a specific chief, a specific way of understanding who your people were. The Court of Lord Lyon still recognizes Scottish clan chiefs today. Over 2,500 Scottish surnames connect to one of 342 documented clans. If your name is on this list, you are not just carrying a surname, you are carrying a tribe. Tell me in the comments, which clan is yours? If this video was worth your time, a like genuinely helps the channel. Subscribe for more deep dives into the bloodlines that shaped history.